Because we are so much better at testing than any other country in the world, we show more cases.
The figure I look at is death. And death is going up now.
Okay,
and it's 1,000 a day.
If you look at death...
Yeah, it's going up
look.
again.
Let's look.
Daily death.
Take a look at some of these charts.
I'd love to.
We're going to look.
Let's look.
And if you look at death...
Yeah, it's started to go up again.
One. Well, right here, the United States is lowest. In numerous categories, we're lower than the world.
Lower than the world?
Lower than
what is that?
Europe.
In what?
Look.
In what?
Take a look. Right here. Here's case death.
Yo, what is up? This is my first game in the BUGI, my reaction video. I have a series of 3 games to show you today. We are in Mines. But first, if you are here for the first time, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. This is the best way you can help support my channel. Also, remember to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let Wargaming know what you think and what recommendations, what you like, what you don't like about this tank. Right now we are in Mines South Spawn. Now, one thing if you didn't know about Mines, Mines is a map that really benefits the northern team. If you are on the north spawn, you are most likely going to win this kind of matchup. But the most important thing here is you saw me ping on the left side of the map, the eastern side of the map, where the Hotel 2, that's where I ping where I'm going. It's important to take the left side to stop the northern team from advancing on the 1-2 line. If you lose the 1-2 line, you're likely to lose this game, which is why I decided to take it upon myself to get to this side of the map and try to help out the team. Now we are in equipment 2.0, so you can see me using this improved mechanism thing, equipment, rammer and optics on this tank. Now I am comparing this tank with the GOAT, the greatest of all time tier 6 medium tanks, which is the T-34-85M. Immediately you can see there are some similarities here. It looks like the BUGI has a bit more forward speed than the T-34-85M. 56 kilometers versus 53 kilometers on the T-34-85M, but look at the reverse speed, only 11 kilometers an hour going backwards, while the T-34-85M has 20 kilometers an hour reverse speed. Now this is also evident. It looks like it has a lot of mobility. No, it doesn't. In fact, in terms of agility, it is one of the worst in medium tanks in tier 6. The ground resistances are so bad that it feels more like a heavy tank, like a medium heavy tank. That is the kind of the feedback that I'm getting when I'm playing this tank. Like I said, this was my first game. Immediately I got the mines, and I decided that the way to play this map is to try and defend, make sure that they're not pushing the left side before anything happens. Now, like I was saying, this tank, although it looks like it has a lot of forward speed, it actually has very poor agility. In terms of ground resistances, it is really poor. Well, not poor as in terrible poor, but not that great. Going forward is not bad. Going reverse is really slow. The left right wiggling is not that good for a medium tank. But what is good about this tank is the damage output. 240 damage on 156 penetration on standard shells, on premium shells 198 penetration. One of the best gun damage and penetration in this tank in tier 6. In fact, the damage output, the damage 240 damage is the same as a Italian P43 BIS, but this tank is a lot better than the BIS. Now the reload time is nearly 8 seconds, so that is like 3 seconds slower than the T-34-85M. So you do not want to be in close quarter combat 1v1s, you know, in situations where you need to reload quickly. It is really terrible. Gun depression, you've got 8 degrees of gun depression, 20 on gun elevation. That's not too bad. Gun dispersion as well, 0.38, and in my next video you're going to see how this gun dispersion works. gun dispersion 0.38 means that in terms of gun performance, it's not that great. It's actually exactly the same kind of dispersion as a P43 bis, which gives you an indication of how poorly this gun works. Now I make a little bit of a mistake here. In fact, I actually do really well engaging this Object 244. In fact, I'm owning him. But if you notice, I have a little bit of a mistake here, and I didn't realize what was wrong until it was too late. I actually have my repair kit and my medical kit in the wrong slots. Now I usually have my med kit in my number 4 and my repair kit in my number 5, and here I am trying to repair, trying to fix up my gunner, but I'm like mashing the keys, the 4 key, and it's not working. What the hell's going on? I end up mashing all the keys just to see what's going on because I've been having some problem with my keyboard, and I've chucked my keyboard and I'm using a reserve keyboard or a spare keyboard. So I thought there's something wrong with this keyboard as well, and because of that I lost a little bit of HP, and in the end it was too late for me to recover. A bit of a mistake, but it's still not a bad game for me. It did 1700 damage for my first game. I only realized this mess up with my med kit and repair kit there after the game, but that's okay. I'm gonna go to my second game here. This is in Overlord, and here is a kind of like a demonstration, or I can show you exactly what I mean when I talk about 0.38 dispersion. Basically, dispersion 0.38 is a lot worse than a T3485M, which has 0.35 dispersion, a VKD for example 0.34 dispersion. It means that this gun is not super accurate, but although I make that shot there, and this guy completely YOLO'd around the map. I'm taking two shots, one from the T71 and one from the 244 there, unnecessary, and then I missed this shot because the KV2 drove forward and put his turret in between my gun and that T71, but just like that I lost a lot of HP, nearly half my HP, only got one shot of damage out from this gun, and it looks like we are going to be collapsing because the enemies are rushing in on my low ground, and on my high ground this guy is being aggressive. But in this kind of distances, when I'm engaging this VKP, it is not a problem because I hit the dirt there, even though I was not aiming at the dirt. But that's what I wanted to show you about the dispersion of this gun. 0.38 means it is not that great, the kind of dispersion. It means that I'm going to miss some of my shots. Shots like this is going to be difficult to make. I do pan this one because he gave me the entire side of his tank, so that was pretty easy to deal with. And it looks like I've got these two guys camped out at the corner. I'm going to take another shot at him. I don't know why the gun did that. It's because of the undulations on the ground. The ground had some bumps on it as I drove over it and pulled the trigger, and I missed that shot on the enemy tank, but that's okay. I'm going to make it up here, I suppose, but he's side scraping, and I'm not going to pan him even with standard shells now, even with premium shells, sorry. Now, in higher tier games, tier 7 matchups, I always start off with premium shells. I only play standard shells when I'm in same tier matchmaking, and this is just a general rule that I use because I don't like having my shot not pan and then having to switch ammo. Once I switch to premium ammo, I'm just going to fire premium ammo all the way, and just to, I don't need to think about it too much. I just play it this way. Don't judge me. That's just how I play. In same tier matchups, I'll start off with standard shells. In higher tier matchups, I start off with premium shells. Don't judge me. But anyway, here comes a KV-13. For some reason, he's got a pixel to shoot at, and he manages to land that shot, and this is game over for me. But even though it was game over for me, still did a respectable amount of damage, 1.2 1.3, not too bad. We still ended up winning that game, so I'm not too bummed out about it. The next game I'm going to show you is in Province. This was my 4th game. Actually, this wasn't my 3rd game. This was my 4th game in this tank. I'm going to fast forward this, and we're on the north spawn, and we're going to go over to the other side and fight the enemies here. Now immediately you see an enemy CS44 taking this position at the rock where he can side scrape and completely bully any of us trying to make our way up to the western side. Now what is the secret here? How do you deal with this tank? Well, number one, you don't fire standard shells or premium shells at him because he's going to be side scraped against that rock. The good thing is this tank carries a lot of shells, so I can carry 10 HE shells, which I do. So I'm just going to fire blind. I landed one shot at him, I'm going to fire at the same spot. Even if I hit his side, I'm still going to do a little bit of damage, and I've got 10 HE, so I'm just going to continue firing HE shells, hopefully doing 100 damage every time. And I landed a lot of these shots when I look at the results later in the game. So I'm just going to punish him every time. 100 damage, 100 damage. He can't stay there forever. Yes, he's doing a really good job side scraping and hiding using the bush, but he can't do that forever. Eventually enough HEs are going to land on him and kill him off. So that was a really bad position for the CS44. For people who know what they're doing, it is easy. It is quite easy to take him out. Now if he was in a better armored tank, he might have survived a little bit longer, but we'll leave that for another day. These guys took a little bit of artillery shell, and I didn't get affected by it, so I'm just going to push on forward. Now you can see there is a T-34-85M that's made it up to that corner. It's going to be really difficult to dig him out, and it looks like he has a friend as well. I thankfully managed to land that shell on him. Even with my poor 0.38 dispersion, I managed to do some land a shot of damage on him. Now here's the problem, and I managed to land that shot as well. So that was really lucky. 0.38 dispersion. My moving dispersions are 0.21. Turret dispersion 0.21 as well. Exactly the same as a T-34-85M. So I've got dispersion like a P-43 BIS and a moving dispersion like a T-34-85M. Now these guys, if they played their game well, they would have had the crossfire on us. Thankfully that guy at the back did not deal with us, so I'm gonna go forward, and we need to get rid of this guy immediately. Now I should have hit him, but he was angled properly, and I hit his upper armor, which means he landed an extra shot on me, and that means I am basically a one-shotter now. Only 120 plus HP left on my tank. As soon as he's fired, I can poke in and land one shot at him. Again, my 240 alpha damage is working for me here. It means we can kill off the enemy a bit quicker. And I am a one-shotter now. Even if I died now, I did 1425 damage. Is not too bad. It's respectable, kind of respectable. It's not too bad. But I want to try and squeeze out as much damage as I can and try to win this game. Although we are looking like we are going to win it because we are already up 3 tanks, this is a tier 7 matchup, which means that the game is not really in my hands. I am in a tier 6. I need to rely on my teammates on the higher tiers, and seeing as though the higher tiers in tier 7s, those guys are heavy tanks. The IS, the IS-2S, the KV-3. On the enemy team we have the IS and the KV-3, which I am camping out right now. These two guys are stuck here. I need to stay here to make sure that we do damage on them, because these are the two guys that will be able to make the difference on the enemy team. If we can keep them pinned down and punish them for any mistakes they make, the rest of my team all over the map, they can completely take their time and try to win all the other sides of the map. Now that KV3 is looking at me, I do need to run away. Thankfully I am I've got my tank already turned around, so I was ready to run away by going forward. So I'm very lucky there that I didn't have to reverse into safety. Remember, my reverse speed is only 11 kilometers an hour. I wouldn't have been able to escape from that KV3 there if I did not have my tank already turned around. So what do? I'll try to find another angle, because going back to that same angle might not be a good idea. We're up by 2 tanks. This game is looking very close, because the rest of my team, the heavy tanks on my team, are not doing a very good job. The IS and the KV3, they are playing it extremely safe. They are not closing the distance and doing damage, and I've been blind shot by a E25 cockroach. I wasn't being blind shot, I was actually spotted. The problem is I do not have sixth sense on this tank. When I retrained my crew, I retrained it with credit, which means my sixth sense wasn't working. I did not know this at this time. Only when I got shot by the E25 did I realize that, okay, since I retrained with credits, I don't think my sixth sense is working. So anyway, I've got to play extra safe now because I do not have any HP to play with. So what am I gonna do? I want to try and get myself unlit from that E25, and then let my team know where that T25 was shooting me from, which I clicked on the map, and we have the T-34-85M 1v1ing that E25M. Good on him. It is really difficult to kill off an E25 in a 1v1 because the E25 reloads so quickly, and sure enough, E25 destroys that T-34-85M. But the Firefly VC had enough brain power to support that T-34-85M, and dealt the final blow on that E25. Very important, because that E25 is actually a very powerful, dangerous tank, especially if they are in the bushes. Now it looks like the KV3 and IS have changed positions from behind that house. They've moved across the road, and I've signaled to my IS on my team that I'm going to support him, but I'm not going to poke out right now because that guy is basically camping us out, and he got that first shot on our IS. I don't know why our IS drove into that shot. You could clearly see that the enemy was pre-aimed at our position, and any one of us that poked out would have taken a hit from the enemy IS. But anyway, what do I think? What is my impression of the BUGI? I think it is a easy tank to grind through. Is it a tank you want to keep? I'll be honest with you. If you have a T-34-85M, you don't want to keep this BUGI. I mean, the BUGI is not a bad tank to play with at all. It's kind of I can't say it's bad, but I can't say it's the greatest tank ever. It is an easy tank to play with in terms of, you know, if you have to grind through, get to your next tank, no problem to grind with. You're going to do well with this. You're going to, if you want to 3-mark it, you can 3-mark it. It's pretty easy. It also has another option of gun, which is kind of like a derpy gun, and the derpy gun, what I mean is it's going to fire HE shells. It is not a great gun to play with. The derp gun, in my opinion, is a waste of time. But if you want to play it for the memes, go right ahead. No one's going to stop you. But in terms of performance, I'm going to say you go for this gun. Easy tank to play with, reverse a little bit slower. Very lucky to have survived there. He didn't kill me, and finally our KV3 stepped up with his full HP and dealt the final blow on the enemy IS. So what am I going to do now? There is only 2 tanks left, which is a artillery and a Sturv 52 on the other side of the map. So I'm just going to fast forward this, get my ass over to the eastern side of the map, close down the distance on the Sturv M42 auto loader. I think he is in the sniper's nest right on top. That's where I think he is. So I want to close the distance and try and see if I can get 1 or 2 shots on him. If I can, I think I check the right side and don't see anything, so I think he is up on the sniper's nest, so I'm making my way up there. Hopefully he doesn't spot me, try and get under him, but he is on my right all this way. I didn't spot him when I was poking on the other side, so I died for it, but we still managed to finish this game off. The KV3 managed to land one shot on him. I still did a good healthy amount of damage for this game, over 2,517 damage. Very little spotting damage because I was basically out in front doing the big boy work. If you enjoyed this video, do consider giving this video a like. Let me thank you in advance. I will see you on the next video. Bye bye.